Rakataya Bahashim Yahusha Bahashim Rakakuras. Rakataya Bahashim Yahusha Bahashim Rakakuras. We give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahusha Bahashim Rakakuras. And double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Okay. And I'm going to start at Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth, and in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man, and the pleasure that came with sleep. And when I was born, I drew in the common air and fell upon the earth, which is of like nature. And the first voice which I uttered was crying, as all others do. I was nursed in swaddling clothes, and that with cares. For there is no king that had any other beginning of birth. For all men have one entrance into life, and the light going out. Wherefore I prayed, and understanding was given me. I called upon the Most High, and the spirit of wisdom came to me. I preferred her before scepters and thrones, and esteemed riches nothing in comparison of her. Neither compared I unto her any precious stone, because all gold in respect of her is as a little sand, and silver shall be counted as clay before her. I loved her above health and beauty, and chose to have her instead of light, for the light that cometh from her never goeth out. All good things together came to me. Salakia, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 11. All good things together came to me with her, and innumerable riches in her hands, and I rejoiced in them all, because wisdom goeth before them, and I knew that she was the daughter of them. The mother of them. I learned diligently and do communicate her liberally. I do not hide her riches, for she is a treasure unto men that never faileth, which they that use become the friends of the Most High, being commended for the gifts that come from learning. The Most High hath granted me to speak as I would, and to conceive as is meet for the things that are given me, because it is he that leadeth unto wisdom, and directeth the wise. For in his hand are both weight and our words, all wisdom also, and knowledge of workmanship. For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely, to know how the world was made, and the operation of the elements, the beginning, ending, and midst of times, the alterations of the turning of the sun, and the change of seasons, the circuits of the years, and the positions of stars, the natures of living creatures, and the furies of wild beasts, the violence of winds, and the reasoning of men, the diversities of plants, and the virtues of roots, and all such things as are either secret or manifest them I know. For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me. For in her is an understandings taught with Salakia, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 22. For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me. For in her is an understanding spirit, holy, one only, manifold, subtile, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to her, loving the thing that is good, quick, which cannot be letted, ready to do good, kind to man, steadfast, sure, free from care, having all power, overseeing all things, and going through all understanding, pure and most subtile spirits. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of the Most High, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no vile thing fall into her. verse 26. For she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of the Most High, and the image of His goodness. And being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new. And in all ages entering into holy souls, she maketh them friends of the Most High and prophets. For Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom. For she is more beautiful than the sun, and above all the order of stars, being compared with the light she is found before. For after this cometh night, but vice shall not prevail against wisdom. And this is Deuteronomy chapter 33. I was just thinking, like, if you ever want to confound a Christian, you just ask them, a Christian that doesn't know nothing, you just ask them if um if the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, if the God of the Bible is only for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then what happened to Esau? But like, so what's he gonna do? You know what I'm trying to say? Because his whole book is going in the bloodline. Like, it wouldn't be in there if it wasn't important. So I was just thinking, okay, but Deuteronomy chapter 33. And this is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of the Most High, blessed the children of Israel before his death. And he said, the Most High came from Sinai and rose from Seir unto them. He shone forth from Mount Paran, and he came with 10,000s of saints from his right hand for a fiery law for them. Yea, he loved the people. All his saints are in thy hand, and they sat down at thy feet. Everyone shall receive of thy works. Moses commanded us a law, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. And he was Salakia. Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 3. Yea, he loved the people. All his saints are in thy hand, and they sat down at thy feet. Everyone shall receive of thy works or words. Moses commanded us a law, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. And he was king in Jeshurun. And when the heads of the people and the tribes of Israel were gathered together, let Reuben live and not die, and let not his men be few. Reuben is the tribe, this the this, um the tribe of Israel, the Seminole Indians. Okay, it says Deuteronomy 33, verse 6. Let Reuben live and not die, and let not his men be few. Okay, and this is the blessing of Judah. Judah is the so-called Negroes, not the Hamites, which the Hamites are the Africans, the original like Canaanites, not Ham, the descendants of Ham. And this is Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 7. And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, Hear Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua the voice of Judah, and bring him unto his people. Let his hands be sufficient for him, and be thou a help to him from his enemies. And of Levi he said, which is the so-called Haitians, let thy Thummim and let thy Urim be with thy Holy One, whom thou didst prove at Massa, and with whom thou didst strive at the waters of Meribah, who said unto his fathers and to his mother, I have not seen him, neither did he acknowledge his brethren, nor few his own children, for they have observed thy word and kept thy commandment, and kept thy covenant. They shall teach Jacob thy judgments, and Israel thy law. They shall put incense before thee, and hold burnt sacrifice upon thine altar. Bless the Most High, bless Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua his substance, and accept the work of his hands. Smite through the loins of them that rise against him, and of them that hate him, that they rise not again, which is also spiritual because when they was in slavery, they rose against the French, right? He says, bless the Most High his substance and accept the work of his hands. Smite through the loins of them that rise against him, and of them that hate him, that they rise not again. The French never came back trying to. I'm not going to talk too much because I don't know all the history. Let me see. Um, Salakia, um, just looking this up real quick. Okay, I'm gonna read this to edify real quick because I didn't know too much about it, but it gave me some information here. Um, okay. Okay. It says, and this is another reason why the whites over here in America was scared of like Judah rising up against them too. Because I just read it for a little bit, but it says, this is from study.com. The Haitian Revolution was the largest and most successful slave revolt in recorded history. Starting in 1791, slaves throughout the French colony of Saint Domingue rose up en masse and destroyed the island's highly profitable plantation slavery system, creating the nation of Haiti. Colonists, slave traders, and white races throughout the world were shocked and horrified. Untrained and poorly armed African slaves had been able to take control of the most lucrative colony in the New World away from one of the most powerful empires on earth. African slaves, which are really the tribe of Levi, African slaves and abolitionists throughout the Americans perceived a glimmer of hope and possibility through the darkest days of the Atlantic slave trade. Um, Okay. Then it's gonna talk about, okay, let me see. It's talking about the conditions here, but okay, okay. Oh, it also says here too, um, unlike slaves elsewhere in the Americas, most slaves on Saint Domingue were not born into slavery, so they knew who they were, basically, I'm guessing. Well, but the nation of Israel went off too, but some thought, you know what I'm saying? But we all lost our heritage, is what I'm trying to say. Um, and it says they weren't born into slavery, most of them. Thus, they were unwilling to accept their horrific conditions. Facts. I would be the same way. If somebody came over here and was like, hey, bruh, you're going back into slavery or you're going into slavery, I wouldn't want to go. And every time I'm there, I'll be like, I don't want to be here. Okay. Um, but yeah, that's really talking about the RFID chip, but the microchip, because that's a different form of slavery too. But it's still slavery. We're still in our captivity today. But okay, let me keep reading now. Yeah. Okay. Um, Deuteronomy 33, verse 11. Bless Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai his substance, and accept the work of his hands. Smite through the loins of them that rise against him, and of them that hate him, that they rise not again. And of Benjamin he said, the beloved Benjamin is the West Indians. And of Benjamin he said, the love of the Most High shall dwell in safety by him. And the Most High shall cover him all the days long, and he shall dwell between his shoulders. And of Joseph he said, blessed of the Most High be his hand, for the precious things of the heaven. Um, yes, it's talking about Ephraim, which are the Puerto Ricans, and Manasseh, the Cubans. Um, that's who Joseph is, because that's both of his sons. And of Joseph he said, blessed of the Most High be his hand, it be his land for the precious things of the earth. And they call them the Puerto Ricans, which is Richport, and the things in Puerto Rico. The island of Puerto Rico is beautiful. And it's probably beautiful in Cuba too. But yeah, I'm not gonna look it up, but this is as it is written, it's written, so that's just how it is. Whatever's written in the Bible is law, and you gotta make sure you go back into the Hebrew and the Greek. Deuteronomy 33, verse 13. And of Joseph he said, blessed of the Most High be his land, for the precious things of the earth, for the dew, and for the deep that croucheth beneath, and for the precious fruits brought forth by the sun, and for the precious things put forth by the moon, and for the chief things of the ancient mountains, and for the precious things of the lasting hills, and for the precious things of the earth and fullness thereof, and for the good will of him that dwelleth in the bush. Let the blessing come upon the head of Joseph, and upon the top of the head of him that was separated from his brethren. His glory is like the firstling of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns. With them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth. And they are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh. And of Zebulun he said, Zebulun is the Guatemala to Panama. Um, and of Zebulun he said, Rejoice, Zebulun, in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tents. Issachar is the Mexicans. They shall call the people unto the mountain. There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they shall suck of the abundance of the seas, and of treasures hid in the sand. And of Gad, which is the Native American Indians, and of Gad he said, Blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. He dwelleth as a lion, and teareth the arm with the crown of the head. And he provided the first part of him, and he provided the first part for himself, because there in a portion of the lawgiver was he seated, and he came with the heads of the people. He executed the justice of the Most High and his judgments with Israel. And if Dan, he said, Dan, um, um, let me look up the tribe of Dan real quick. Let me see. Salakia. It says, according to the Torah, the tribe consisted of the descendants of Dan, a son of Jacob, and Bilhah, Rachel's maidservant. In the biblical account, Dan is one of the two children of Bilhah, the handmaid of Jacob's wife Rachel, the other child of Bilhah being Naphtali. Okay. Which Naphtali, um, Naphtali is the people, the Argentina to Chile, the people of Argentina to Chile, Argentina and Chile. Really. Um, let me see. It gave me a scripture 30, Genesis 30, 4. It says Genesis 30 and um, I'm gonna read at the top. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said on wait, Slakia. Genesis 30 and 1. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, Give me children, or else I die. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel. And he said, Am I in God's stead, who have withheld from thee the fruit of the womb? And she said, Behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. And she gave him by Bilhah her handmaid to wife, and Jacob went in unto her. And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, God hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice, and hath given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan. I'm gonna keep reading because it's gonna talk about Naphtali. And Baha, Rachel's maid, conceived again and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, With great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali. Okay. Mm, Back to Deuteronomy chapter 33. Um, it says, And of Dan, this is Deuteronomy 33, verse 22. And of Dan he said, Dan is a lion's whelp, he shall leap from Bashan. And of Naphtali he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with flavor and full with the blessings of the Most High, possess thou the west and the south. And of Asher he said, wait, yeah, Naphtali is Argentina and Chile. Yeah. Um, and I'm not confused, but I just want to get a better understanding of. No, I do not want Blue Cross and Blue Shield. I want the blue letter. Slovakia. Okay. Mm, Okay. No. Okay. It says 33 verse 22. And of Dan he said, Dan is a lion's whelp. He shall leap from Bashan. Um, oh, look at this. Um, it says Bashan is a biblical place first mentioned in Numbers 21, verse 33, where Og, the king of Bashan, came out against the Israelites at the time of their entrance into the promised land, but was utterly routed. Um, Og's Bashan extended from Gilead in the south to Hermon in the north, and from the Jordan River on the west to Salca on the east, along with the half of Gilead. It was given to the half tribe of Manasseh. Golan, one of its cities, became a Levitical city. Um, it was a Levitical city. There was 48 cities in ancient Israel set aside for the tribe of Levi, who were not allocated their own territorial land when the Israelites entered the Promised Land, and the city of refuge. Um, According to the Torah, the Israelites invaded Bashan and conquered it from the Amorites. Um, Let me see if there's um, let me look up what means. A whelp means puppy. Let me see if there's more. Okay, Salakia, I didn't plan this, but um, see if this gives me something. It says, um, yes, it's like a cub, a puppy, a son in contempt, a young man in contempt. Contempt means the feeling that a person or thing is beneath consideration, worthless, or deserving scorn. Um, Disregard for something that should be taken into account. Um, so, like a son in contempt. So, disregard for something that should be taken into account. Um, okay, so it says Deuteronomy 33, verse 22. And of Dan he said, Dan is a lion's whelp, he shall leap from Bashan. Leap, I'm guessing he like, leap means jump or spring a long way to a great height or with great force. Okay, so again, Deuteronomy 33, verse 22. And of Dan he said, Dan is a lion's whelp, he shall leap from Bashan. Okay, I just looked up off the spirit the sons of Jacob in order. And Jacob's 12 sons named in Genesis were Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah. Oh, look, he gave me like a tree of the 12 tribes of Israel. Adam and Sarah, which made Isaac, and then Isaac with Rebekah, who begot Jacob. This is just going through this lineage. Then Jacob had Jacob um, um, got with Leah and had Reuben, Simeon, had Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah. Then by law, Rachel's servant had Dan and Naphtali. Um, then Zilpah, Leah's servant, had Gad and Asher. Okay. And then Leah had Issachar, and then Zebulun, and then Rachel had Joseph and Benjamin. And it's kind of funny how Joseph But really, Joseph has Joseph got blessed, right? Like I'm saying, like Ephraim and Manasseh, those two sons, by Isaac blessed them, or blessed Ephraim too, and so really the tribes of Israel go Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, um, like what it says in Revelation. It says, and I heard, this is Revelation 7 and 4, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. So the only ones getting sealed are Judah, Judah, Reuben, Gad, Asher, Naphtali, Manasseh, which is the son of Joseph, yeah, one of the sons of Joseph, the older son of Joseph, Simeon, Levi, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, which really means Ephraim, and Benjamin. Deuteronomy 33, verse 22. And of Dan, he said, Dan is a lion's whelp, right? He shall leap from Bashan. Um, so after Bashan, a lion's whelp, like his puppy, a lion's puppy, he shall leap from Bashan. It seems like he's going somewhere. You get what I'm trying to say? And of Naphtali, he said, because he's not sealed, he's not going to be sealed, right? And of Naphtali, he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with flavor and full with the blessing of the Most High, possess thou the west and the south. Uh, Deuteronomy 33 and 24. And of Asher he said, let Asher be blessed with children, let him be acceptable to his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil. Asher, Asher is Colombia to Uruguay. Those um, people um, that come from the line. Um, Let Asher be blessed with children, let him be acceptable to his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil. Thy shoes shall be iron and brass, and as thy days, so shall thy strength be. Okay. There is none unto the power of Jeshurun, who rideth upon Salakia. Dan means judge, by the way, but Salakia, because I'm looking this up too. Um, It says Dan is prophesied to leap from Bashan. Scholars are uncertain why this should be, since the tribe did not live in Bashan plain east of the Jordan. Um, Samson was from the tribe of Dan. Um, Let me type in Dan in the blue letter. The spirit just got me looking up Dan. And I'm reading this real quick. No, not Daniel. Mm, Baba Kasha, figure this out later. Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha, give me the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the drop of Dan. Kasha. Mm, okay. Um, Deuteronomy 33, verse 26. There is none like unto the power of Jeshurun, who rideth upon the heavy in thy help, and in his excellency in on the sky. The eternal power is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. And he shall thrust out the enemy before thee, and shall say, Destroy them. Um, Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. The fountain of Jacob shall be upon a land of corn and wine. Also his heavens shall drop down dew. Happy thou art, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people, saved by the Most High. That's that's telling you right there that only Israel will be saved. And more closely is the elect of Israel will be saved. Um, O people saved by the Most High, the shield of thy help. And who is the sword of thy excellency? And thy enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. Okay. Um, and this is Deuteronomy 28. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Most High thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Most High thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy power. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kin, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Most High shall cause thy enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways. The Most High shall command a blessing upon thee in thy storehouses and in all that thou settest thine hand unto, and he shall bless thee in the land which the Most High thy power giveth thee. The Most High shall establish thee a holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Most High thy power, and walk in his ways. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Most High, and they shall be afraid of thee, And the Most High shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, in the land which the Most High sware unto thy fathers to give thee. The Most High shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven to give the rain, and unto thy land in his season, and to bless all the works of thy hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. And the Most High shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. If that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Most High thy power, which I command thee this day, to observe and to do them, and thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. Baba Kasha, keep my spirit on fire, Baba Kasha. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kin, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Most High shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and a rebuke, and all that thou settest thy hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. The Most High shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he hath consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it. The Most High shall smite thee with the consumption, and with the fever, and with the inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. The Most High shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust. From heaven shall it come down upon thee until thou be destroyed. The Most High shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shalt be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. Thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts Deuteronomy 28, verse 26. And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them. Oh, wait, let me go up. Um, Deuteronomy 28, verse 24. The Most High shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust. From heaven shall it come down upon thee, until thou be destroyed. The Most High shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shalt be removed into all kingdoms of the earth. And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. The Most High shall smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch where thou canst not be healed. The Most High shall smite thee with madness, and blindness, and astonishment of heart. Thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. Thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. And thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. And thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and thou shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. The fruit of thy land and all thy labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. That's that's also saying like surely oppression maketh the wise man mad. Deuteronomy 28 and 34. So argue. So that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. The Most High shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head. The Most High shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto another nation, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Most High shall lead thee. This is this is really how you know who the children of Israel are, because they went off from their power and the curses went upon them. And this is us, the blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. Because yeah, like for example, we got all these curses on us, but we are called a byword. We're not called the children of the Most High. Yasha Ali, not the Prince of the Power. But now we're telling our people, and we're being told that we are the Prince of the Power. Um, the Israelites. Um, It says Deuteronomy 28 and 37, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Most High shall lead thee. Thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it. Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worms shall eat them. Thou shalt have olive trees throughout all thy coasts, but thou shalt not anoint thyself with the oil, for thine olive shall cast his fruit. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. All thy trees and fruit of thy land shall the locust consume. The strangers that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Most High thy power, to keep his commandment and his statutes which he commandeth thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Because thou Service not the Most High thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies which the Most High shall send up against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee. The Most High shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kin or flocks of thy sheep until he have destroyed thee, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thy hand and fence walls come down, wherein thou trustest, um, throughout all thy land, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Most High thy power hath given thee. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Most High thy power hath given thee, in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thy enemies shall distress thee, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children which he shall leave, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thy enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the soles of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter, and towards her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and towards her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thy enemies shall distress thee in thy gates, if thou wilt not observe to do all the works of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, Yahweh thy power. Then the Most High will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed even great plagues, and of long countenance, and sore sicknesses, and of long countenance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Most High bring upon thee until thou be destroyed, and ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Most High thy power. And it shall come to pass that as the Most High rejoiceth over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Most High will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. Ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it, and the Most High shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou or nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease. Wait, let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. Because it says, And there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. This is talking about reincarnation too, because you served them in a past life, you went off. Now you're not going to remember when you served them in the past life, but um, you're going to follow these other false deities God, even wood and stone. 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Most High shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life. In the morning thou shalt say, Would the Most High it were even, and at even thou shalt say, Would the Most High it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. That's what happened to us now, the Atlantic slave trade, and they still, nobody has bought us from this captivity. We're still in captivity. But it seems like every day more and more these prophecies are coming to pass. And the kingdom of heaven is at hand. You can feel it. You can feel it in the air, really. Even like we know Jacob trouble is coming, but the kingdom of heaven is so close. You're gonna be rejoicing. That's what it says in the scriptures. You're gonna be rejoicing because the kingdom of heaven is nearer than we believe, which is now. And I'm saying this like right there, like I could look out the window, like not physically see the kingdom of heaven, but like I can see it, like, and I'm on my watch too. Basically, this is my watch. Watching the news and seeing these prophecies coming to pass, these earthquakes, and such an you know, and such and such. You get what I'm trying to say. Um, what else? I have some more. Oh, I was gonna read. Um, um, yeah, I'm gonna end it here because I don't want to be over it. It's pretty early in the day. See if I can get some sleep, but this is the real Barakata Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shabahashim Lakakuran. I'm gonna read it kind of I flipped over here in the spirit to John chapter 2 verse 23. Now when he was in Jerusalem at the Passover, this is talking about Yahushua, in the feast day, many believed in his name, Yahushua, when they saw the miracles which he did. But Yahushua did not commit himself unto them, because he knew all men, and needed not that any should testify of man, for he knew what was in man. Okay. Um, John chapter 7, verse 37. In the last day, that great day of the feast, Yahushua stood and cried, saying, If any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. That spiritual drink. He that believeth on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. But this spake he of the Spirit, which they that believe on him shall receive. But the Holy Ghost is not yet given, because that Yahushua was not yet glorified. Yeah, he's talking about the Spirit. Okay. John chapter 8, verse 31. Then said Yahushua to those Jews which believed on him, If ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. They answered him, We be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, Ye shall be made free? And Yahushua answered them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, Whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin, and the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth ever. The Son abideth ever. If the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed. I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me, because my word hath no place in you. I speak that which I have seen with my Father, and ye do that which ye have seen with your father. Um, this is all freaking like great, because it's really on a spiritual level. You gotta read this in a spiritual mind. And how is this? What is this telling me spiritually? You know, it's also saying too. That we need to that it says whoever committeth sin is a servant of sin. Servant of sin, you're a captive to sin, which makes you a slave to sin, you know what I'm saying? Same thing. But the truth will make you free, which you're in the truth, you don't want to sin, you want to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments to your best of your abilities. You want to be feeding the elect really, because the elect's gonna get it um, to receive salvation, and you gotta prove yourself to be to receive the salvation with Baba Kisham, of the elect Baba Kisham. Um, um, this is John chapter 15, verse 18. If the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the word that is said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin. But now they have no cloak for their sin. He that hated me hated my Father also. If I have not done among them the works which none other man did, they had not had sin. But now have they both seen and hated both me and my Father. But this cometh to pass that the word might be fulfilled that is written in their law. They hated me without a cause. But when the Comforter is come, whom I will send unto you from the Father, even the Spirit of truth which proceeded from the Father, he shall testify of me. And ye also shall bear witness, because ye have been with me from the beginning. Uh, okay. Um, um, okay. This is Ephesians chapter 3, verse 14 and down. For this cause I bow my knees unto the Father of our Lord Yahushua Hamashiach, of whom the whole family in heaven and earth is named, and he would grant you according to the riches of his glory to be strengthened with might by his Spirit in the inner man, that Hamashiach may dwell in your hearts by faith, that ye, being rooted and grounded in love, may be able to comprehend with all saints what is the breadth and length and depth and height, and to know the love of um, Yahushua, which passive knowledge, that ye might be filled with all the fullness of the Most High. Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. Unto him be glory in the church by Hamashiach Yahushua throughout all ages, world without end. Um, Tawa, which is Amen, which is. But I was just thinking while I was reading that too, and remembering that if the world hated um, him that if the world hates you, that also hated him. That America bringing back the guillotine and all that for these FEMA camps, and when they put martial law into effect, that some people that well, a lot of people who don't have the faith and the understanding of the scriptures and don't have Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, they're really dying for nothing. They're dying in vain. But if one of the elect was to get their head chopped off, they're dying. Um, it's really to test their faith too, because you know, till the end, which is you know, technically dying on that side, but you don't die, you go to the spirit world. So that's your test, you know what I'm saying, to the end that you want to be on that chopping block with your head down and just, well, you're probably gonna be going off right there. You're probably cursing and probably saying, what's on your mind, like just going ham, like in the spirit. You're heavy in the spirit. You're the heaviest you'll ever be in the spirit. You probably look at somebody and they drop down and die, and then they're trying to hurry you to the chopping block because you're the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like you're the one. Like first, you're gonna one third or any of the other elect or anybody, you're gonna be waking them up and riling the people too, because your spirit's gonna be so high. I'm talking through the spirit, and your spirit, you're gonna be so high in the spirit. And um, shoot, um, it could be that when that blade comes down, but I'm through like I'm on it, and that blade comes down. He said in the twinkle of an eye, right? That your body be changed. You'd be like down here, switching to that new body. You just burst off that thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's the real test of faith. Even if it goes through and chops your little head off, and your head is like getting kicked around like a soccer ball and just awesome, wild stuff. You just thinking that Barakata Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Bahashim Wakakudash. And when you really pass on and give up the ghost, then beamed up into that new body in that chariot. And you're gonna be one of the first one up there. Let me get that and let me end with that. Okay. Um at Revelation 14 and 13. Actually, I'm gonna read Revelation 14 and 12. Here is the patience of the saints, which are the Israelites, but really the elect. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahushua. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Right, blessed are the dead which die in the Most High from henceforth. Saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors and their works do follow them. Your works are going to follow you. You can rest from your labors, feeding the elect, the Israelites, um, feeding the sheep of Yahushua. So we can't get weary in this truth. You can't get weary in this truth at all. Because you're going to get the rest. Even it says, blessed are the dead. So when you die, physically, you're going to be blessed. You get what I'm saying? You get it. Okay? Okay? That's the way to go out right there. If you're gonna go out, because I'm not gonna die, you're gonna be blessed. Your works follow you. You're gonna get the reward. I hope this was edifying. And I want to say, call Allah Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shabashim, Makakudas. Baruch Kashah, protect the elect, Baruch Kashah. Baruch Kashah, keep the elect from sin, Baruch Kashah. Baruch Kashah, keep the spirit on the elect, Baruch Kashah. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shabashim, Makakudas. Barakatah Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shabashim, Makakudas. Baruch Kashah. Put the spirit on the elect to pursue the ancient Hebrew, the Lashon Kodash, the language of the heavens, Okasha, heavy, Okasha, put the spirit on the elect to go into the Hebrew, Okasha, and be diligent in learning of the Hebrew language, the ancient Hebrew, Okasha, All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Bahashem, Baba Kasha, feed them like Baba Kasha. Baba Kasha, hasten the day, Baba Kasha. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Bahashem, Tawa. Actually, wait. I'm gonna go a little bit longer. I'm gonna go a little bit longer because I don't know. The spirit kind of woke me up. Um, I'm gonna read. Um, see. I'm gonna read Genesis chapter 3. Just going down. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Most High Power had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath Yahweh said, Ye shall not eat of any tree? And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath the Most High said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High Yahweh hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for the Most High doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be gods, knowing good and evil. Which we gotta know good and evil now, which is because the blessings of disobedience, the blessings of obedience we had, right, following the law, statutes, and commandments, right, which is the times of David, you know what I'm saying, the righteous rulership of the earth. Then now we're going through the curses, which we've been going through the curses for a long time right now. Heavy on the whole nation, you know what I'm saying? So we know how it is to have a righteous rulership, which is in the scriptures. You can find that in the scriptures. And then we know how we know now what it is, the unrighteous rulership and being under the curses, right? So, and we're gonna know, we're gonna absorb all this, because we're gonna go and say, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So then there's not going to be unrighteous rulership anymore. There's not going to be wars. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be we're going to be the rulership. You know what I'm saying? And it also says the nations that won't serve the Most High will be, I'm paraphrasing, but broken down to nothing really. Um, but Genesis chapter 3, verse 5, For God knoweth that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for fruit, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. They were deceived. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig trees together and made themselves aprons, trying to cover up their sin. And they heard the voice of the Most High Power walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Most High Power amongst the trees of the garden. And the Most High called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. He said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to be with me. And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And the Most High Power said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And the Most High Power said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And unto Adam he said, Because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. And sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee. Thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground, for out of it wast thou taken, for dust thou art. Unto dust shalt thou return. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. Unto Adam also and to his wife did the Most High Power make coats of skin, and clothe them. And the Most High Power said, Behold, the man is become as one of us to know good and evil. And now lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life, and eat, and live forever. Therefore the Most High Power sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubim and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. Okay, um, I'm gonna read Genesis 20. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country, and dwelt between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said of Sarah his wife, She is my sister. And Abimelech king of Gerar sent and took Sarah. But um, God, Yahweh came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said to him, Behold, thou art but a dead man, for the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. But Abimelech had not come near her, and he said, Yahweh Bahashim Yahusha, Yahweh Bahashim Yahusha, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? Wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? Said he not unto me, She is my sister? And she, even she herself, said, He is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and the innocency of my hands have I done this. And the Most High said unto him in a dream, Yet I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thy heart. For I also withheld thee from sinning against me, therefore suffered I thee not to touch her. So she wasn't, she ne she he didn't go in onto her. Now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know thou that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that are thine. Abraham was a prophet. Therefore Abimelech rose early in the morning, and called all his servants, and told all these things in their hearts, their ears, and the men were sore afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham, and said unto him, What hast thou done unto us, and what have I offended thee, that thou hast brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin? Thou hast done these unto me that ought not to be done. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What sawest thou that thou hast done this thing? And Abraham said, Because I thought surely the fear of the Most High is not in this place, and it will slay me for my wife's sake. But the fear was in that dream, no. The fear was in that dream. And yet, indeed, she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. And she became my wife. And it came to pass when the Most High caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, This is thy kindness which thou shalt show unto me, unto every place whither we shall come, and say of me, He is my brother. And Abimelech took sheep and oxen and men servants and women servants, and gave them unto Abraham, and restored him Sarah his wife. And Abimelech said, Behold, my land is before thee, dwell where it pleaseth thee. And unto Sarah he said, Behold, I have given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, he is to thee a covering of the eyes unto all that are with thee. And with all other thus she was reproved. So Abraham prayed unto the Most High, and Yahweh Hashem Yahushai cured Abimelech and his wife and his maidservants, and they bare children. For the Most High had fast closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. That's wild. They was gonna die because they was not gonna have no kid. That's wild too. But I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shabbat, double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone for teaching me this truth, according to the Bible and the Apocrypha. And peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. Shalom.